traditional portfolios have done very well over the past few years.
Yeah.
Stocks are near record territory, and so are bonds.
Right.
So why mess with success?
Why indeed? Precisely because you have done so well. You know, back in 2007, 2008, the stock market was at historic lows. It was historically cheap to buy. Since it's done very well over that time, every year it's been going up, it's getting progressively more expensive. As it gets more and more expensive, it becomes riskier and riskier, and your need for downside protection becomes greater and greater.
So a lot of investors shy away from protective type strategies precisely because they get higher returns from just indexing the market.
Right.
But it sounds like what you're saying is that the higher stocks go, the more appropriate protecting the downside becomes.
It really is true. And, you know, life insurance provides a very good analogy, right? A person who's 70 needs life insurance a lot more than a person who's 30. But you wouldn't want to conclude just because you've been paying insurance premiums every year and not dying that you don't need that protection any longer, right? As you get older, you need more insurance, and as the market gets higher, you need more insurance against particularly high stock market levels. And let me give you 3 quick examples just to tell you where the market really is valued right now. The Tobin Q, the replacement value of the S&P, is 70% above its long-term average. The Buffett indicator, the Warren Buffett's favorite stock GDP to market cap ratio, is over 100% beyond its long-term average, 2 standard deviations, and the Shiller PE is about 2/3 above its long-term average. So all of these really reliable historical measures are flashing, let's say, bright yellow lights right now.
So these are clear signs of caution for the stock market, but what do you say about bonds?
Well, it's very much the same thing with bonds, and in some ways, it's even worse because bonds are assumed to be safe. Everyone understands the stock market goes up and down.
Right.
People believe that bonds are inherently safe, but that's not true at these interest rate levels. Interest rates have come down so far that you're almost bound to get somewhere in here a reversion back towards historical averages. And if you do, the value of your bonds and your bond holdings is going to take a big hit.
So what do investors do?
Well, fortunately, there's a whole new palette of investment tools that are out there. And then these are tools that historically were used by very sophisticated investors, pensions, endowments, foundations. The smartest money in the world has used these tools and opportunities, things like long short, classic example, the most classic of all hedge strategies. This is a wonderful way of being in the market and being able to play along with the market, but having cushion on the downside because the short position will protect you if the market actually does fall. There are many of these. We'll be talking about them throughout this video series, and these opportunities are now available to average investors in mutual fund formats with very high caliber managers, and this is a great revolution for average investors.
So you don't have to be super wealthy to access these options.
Precisely. The opportunities are really growing in good old-fashioned mutual funds, for example. Also some other kinds of things, ETFs, MLPs that we'll talk about here, but you don't have to, you no longer have to be, you did for a long time, but these days, no, you don't have to be super wealthy to take advantage.